don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Hello, Internet. Welcome back to the podcast that no one asked for. My name is Guy, and my guest today is Elisa de la Playa.
What's up, motherfuckers?
And we're going to be reviewing the classic Nintendo Entertainment System original Super Mario Brothers.
Yep. That is exactly what we're doing. We are reviewing one of the first games of all of our childhoods. It was really difficult for me to play, and I was honestly, it was a little detrimental to my feelings. And I don't know, for me to replay it these past few weeks and be so fucking horrible at it, it was kind of it was really upsetting.
When it came to the replay, what were you playing on? Did you play in an emulator on your PC, or did you play on an actual gaming system on the TV in the replay?
Well, that's the thing. Like I've played on two different things. I played on a Retron 5, and I had my little, my NES Mini that I got for my kids a couple years ago. And I invited a couple of my friends over here, a couple of my friends who I've played video games with for a very long time.
How far into the game did you get? Where was your progress?
Level, honest to God, between level 4 and level 5, 5 I think is the furthest I got. It's not been easy, just because we're on a 65-inch 4K Ultra HD TV, blah blah blah. It's really nice for watching television. It's not nice at all for old school gaming. You need a fat ass tube TV.
When I was playing, I actually made it to the end of the game. I beat the game, the original level. It took about 45 lives in total. I did cheat because instead of every time I died going back to the beginning of the level and playing as Little Mario, I just went back to my save point at the beginning of the level with the same amount of lives and with my fireballs. So when I spawned, I was always Big Mario with fireballs.
In the version that I have on my NES Mini, I don't have a save.
Yeah, where's the fun in that?
Well, dude, I don't know. I thought we were trying to be legit.
Of the 5 worlds that you played, what was your favorite level? What was your most memorable level?
The water levels are always the most memorable to me. It's not memorable because I like it. It's memorable because it's fucking difficult. You had to be looking above you and below you and behind you and in front of you at the same time.
Without fireballs, it's almost impossible to play those levels. For me, I'm going to say my most memorable level was the Ep8, the final level of the game, because I honestly didn't remember it. How is
that your most memorable level if you didn't remember it?
Because I went into it thinking, I kind of remember what happens in Mario. You're in this castle and you got to go through, and then Koopa throws a bunch of stuff at you and shoots fire, and then you just jump over him and you win. And that is not at all what happened. There was pipes that go nowhere. You could go into any pipe in the level, and you never knew where you were going to come out. You would come out at random places, and everything looks the same. So it's this weird, confusing, basically maze. It's not it's not a level in terms of there's anything difficult. It's one of the easiest levels of the game, but it's hard to figure out which one of the pipes, because if you keep walking, it just resets you to the beginning. So you have to go in a pipe.
Right.
And so I spent an hour playing that level over and over and over again. And that's why it's my most memorable level, because I spent the most time playing it.
I can see that.
On to the next category we're going to talk about, which are bums and bosses. It can be anything relating to the game. What do you got?
Well, here's my thing. It wasn't even necessarily a bum or a boss thing. It was just with a secondary station with my Retron, is that there was a huge differential with reaction time. With a jump or a whatever.
Oh, and those matter. Something I didn't realize that is how much of the original Mario is just timed jumps
oh
onto
my
tiny
god,
platforms.
100%. Like normally you just land right on that shit, and then like you're playing on an off-brand console, and you just like right the fuck off, just whoop.
My background bum or boss is going to be a boss, and it's definitely going to go to the music. I forgot how awesome the music to this game was, and usually when I'm playing old games, I just use my Amazon Music or Google Music playing in the back or Pandora, and then I turn the sound of the game down, or I turn the music off in the game settings. But in this game, I didn't have to do that. I just let them blast that dun all they wanted. Even when you die, it sounds awesome. Which I died a lot, so that is definitely my boss because I love the music. Next up, we're gonna give a special shout out. Elisa, what's your special shout out?
Shout out to Jason Dawson, my brother from another mother, the guy that I've played more video games with than anybody else.
Very sentimental.
Thank you.
I'm going to give my shout out to something way more low stakes, and it's the Hammer Brothers from the video game. They are probably the single enemy that killed me the most in my replay. And I kind of feel bad that we couldn't be better friends, Mario and the Hammer Brothers. It feels like we would have got along.
The Hammer Brothers should have been closer to Mario. Yeah, you're right.
Exactly. So that's my special shout out. Elisa, we're going to rate this game either replayable, playable, forgettable, or waste of time. What's your rating?
Definitely replayable. 100%.
It is definitely replayable for me as well.
Yeah, I was a little too wasted the last few times I played it, so I'm going to try to replay it again. But for sure, replayable. Love this game. Harder than I remembered.
It's still as entertaining now as it would have been in 1987 or whenever people started playing.
I'm just as entertained now as I was when my dad introduced it to me.
Yeah, it's a good game and I enjoy playing it. So next up, we're going to go on to something that is topical and interesting to you and I, which is Halloween and Halloween costumes. When we first met, an element of something we shared was a love of dressing up as dumb, funny, scary, whatever, and
for sure.
getting drunk and going to Halloween parties and all that jazz. So what we thought we would do today is give out our Halloween do's and don'ts. But before we do that, we are going to be joined by Babs.
What's up?
We love you.
So Babs, since you just came on, we'll start with you. Give us your Halloween don't first.
Halloween don't first, so we're going to start with the negative.
Yeah, because we like to end on the positive here.
One of my favorite things about Halloween is the costumery. But I would say...
I mean, that's a big thing. Like, that's kind of most
that is the whole entire gist of the whole thing. Well, there's candy, too. But I would say the don't for me is, and I've definitely done this, the overly complicated and obscure costume that you put weeks and months of thought into, and then when you go and wear it, nobody knows what you are, and then they keep having to ask, what are you supposed to be?
I agree with that.
If I had a number one seed for Halloween costume, it's I have to be instantly recognizable by at least 10% of the people I'm going to be
You want someone
around.
to like come up and high five you and want to take a picture with you. That's what you want.
I'm kind of like in the middle.
But give me your Halloween don't.
If we're doing obvious don'ts, like don't do fucking blackface. If you are dressing up as fucking Michelle Obama and you're painting your face black, then that's not okay.
For me, my don't is going to be what should be obvious, and that is don't forget the weather. Sometimes when I'm out there at bar crawls or what parties, I'm seeing people that are literally freezing their nips off. The weather is wildly different on October 31st, in and around October 31st. And if you don't take it into consideration, you're in for a long, 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 long night.
Oh, for sure.
You know, it snowed on Halloween here, and it's been 90 degrees. And now we're going to move on to our do's. And you guys kind of implied what my do was. And I say do cross race gender lines in costume. I mean, I was going to say get responsibly drunk, but we all know that for some people that's literally impossible. So that's why I'll just stick to it's okay for men to be women, women to be men, black to be white, and white to be black. Barbara, what's your do?
Well, you kind of stole my do. Just wear whatever kind of costume you like, regardless of gender. Or I was going to go more with the gender thing because as a woman, not as a woman, just as a human being, I'm not a huge fan of the sexy firefighters and all those stupid things where it's just gratuitous nudity. It's like lazy costumery to me.
It is.
Just because your tits are out, that's not. I need a little bit more creativity here.
When I was in my 20s, I liked Halloween parties because you could always tell the girls that are fun from the girls that are lame as fuck by what they're wearing. Oh, you want to be sexy lingerie ninja? You're corny as fuck. And if a girl has a funny costume or a detailed costume, you know she's trying harder. Talk to that girl. That will about wrap it up for us. I'd like to say thank you to my guest, Elisa, and my co-host, Babs. And if you were thinking that this was a waste of time, remember, no one asked for this.
Boo! Boo! Boo!
I just need you to tell me that we're going to have another a talk next week or next month or whatever,